Hey everyone, Paul Finck here, and this is Maverick Mondays, and I am Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire, and thank you for joining me. And I know I'm running a little bit behind here. I actually had some technical difficulties, and the technical difficulties were because I was on a different account and a different system, and so they were causing me some challenges. That being said, wanted to come on here and give a quick shout out to everybody, because what we're talking about here is creating a great life. And for most of you, you're challenged with the understanding on how to make that happen, with a challenge on making it happen for yourself. And I want to come on here and talk about that. We talk about things on how to make a difference in your world, how to make a difference in all of our universe, and how to really make it real for all of us so that we create this magnitude in our world, a magnitude in our life that is so exciting for me to express and to talk about. And wanted to be here for all of you to talk about what makes a great life. You know, some people say, oh, it's impossible. You can't have a great life. What do you mean? All those people that look like they are having a great life on Facebook, that's all a bunch of malarkey. They don't really have a great life. They're challenged every step of the way, and it's a whole lot of BS. Other people say, no, you can't have a great life. It's just impossible. It's just, there's stuff that's always going to happen to you. So having a great life isn't even possible. Stuff will happen. I'm here to tell you that you can have a great life. One is to appreciate everything around you so that great becomes a relative thing. So no matter what you want in your world, you can create that greatness. Because as you're living life, everything becomes great. You can love where you are at, love what you're doing, love how it's showing up for you. The rest of the story is that you got to love and be passionate about where you're going, and then understand that your world can be created. That, yes, I remember times when things were tougher, much tougher than they are now by far. I remember when things were really tough. Some people called it a recession that we went through. And so I was building up my businesses and the recession hit. And people were concerned for me. And I was like, no, everything's great. And I still had a smile on my face and still kept moving forward every single day with this excitement of where we were going. Then people said to me, how could you possibly still have a smile on your face? I know things are struggling right now. I know things aren't working the way you planned. I know you're in trouble. And I went, well, it's all up to the eye of the beholder. You absolutely can keep moving forward. I know I did. And I kept having a smile on my face and kept saying, I know this is going to lead to greatness. I don't care what the facts show me. And sure enough, it did. What I can tell you is every time you have someone who has a great life, it got created because they designed it. It didn't happen by mistake. It didn't happen by accident. It happened because they designed it. They decided early on that this was the life they were going to lead, and they created it. So how do you create that kind of life? You write it down. You decide, this is what I want in my life. I want time for my children. I want time for my wife. I want time for my business. I want to build up a certain amount of financial wealth. I want to accomplish certain things religiously, contribution-wise, towards my society. I want to give a certain amount towards charity, or time and energy towards charity. And no matter what it is, you get to decide. You get to write it down. You get to create it. And you get to design it. See, that's the missing piece for most people, is that they never stop to think, hey, what do they want? Most people go around with blinders on. They all of a sudden show up. It's kind of like they're in that canoe, and they dropped their oars before they even started, and the water just took them every which way to finally wash them up on shore, and then they sat there on shore, and they stayed there the rest of their life. This really explains how most people got to the life that they have, is they just let it happen. Others, they grabbed hold of the oars and they began to paddle, and paddle as if their life depended on it, which in my eyes it does. Because I could either have a great life by paddling hard for a certain period of time and getting to where I really wanted to go, or never having done the hard work and just getting to wherever people throw me, whatever happenstance gives me. Your life, you get to design on purpose with intent. I want you to go ahead and comment below what you believe your design is, what you want out of life, and what you're doing to get it. And if there's any questions about how, go ahead and ask that as well. We are the architects of our life. You couldn't be more accurate with that, Doug. It absolutely is the case. This is, and we need the SC. There you go. You absolutely are the designer of everything. I talk about being the designing your life on purpose with intent. This is really key. You want something, go out and get it. And I don't mean just financial. I don't mean business-wise. Although that's a part of it. I mean everything. You want good quality life with your children, with your spouse, with your loved ones. Go do it. Get it. Make it happen. You know, many people, they talk about, for instance, their calendars, and their calendars are all over the place. And their calendars are all over the place. They'll have a calendar for their personal life, a calendar for their business life. They'll have a calendar for their kids' events, and all these things. They're in different places. I talk about having one calendar because you have one life. You don't need to compartmentalize it. Focus in on making it one, so that you can actually be doing just looking at one calendar, and you're going to block in time for your wife, your loved ones, block in time for your children, block in time for friends and associates. Block the time out, put it into your calendar, design it on purpose, decide that's what you're going to do, and then you go and do it. You know, it seems like such a hard concept, doesn't it? Decide and then do. We could eliminate all the personal development, all the business coaches, all the consultants out there in the world if people would simply just do that simple formula. Decide what you're going to do and then go do it. Plan your work and work your plan. Sound familiar? Design it on purpose. Everything you want in life. Now, then we get down to some people won't decide, and start designing it, only they have a hard time thinking past day 1, day 2, or even hour 1 or hour 2. I want you to begin to think, what do you want 5 years from now? What do you want 10 years from now? What do you want 100 years from now? Start thinking longer term, and then decide, well, what is it? Really design it. What is it I need to do? What is it that would be effective to do today that would lead me to my destiny 100 years from now? What is it that would have that kind of effect and that kind of impact years from now? That's what you focus in on today. Watch the change that will happen over the years. Everything that you want, I guarantee you could create in the next 5 years. You could create that magnitude in the next 5 years just by making it happen. Go ahead and do that. Start today with designing out how you want your life to be 5 years from now. It's amazing. So decide, design, get busy, get committed, make it happen. You can have a great life. Yes, it's not a whole lot of just, smoke and mirrors. It really can happen. It was fascinating. I was working with a marketing company recently, and they looked at my photos of my family, and they decided that my family just looked a little too perfect. They didn't look messy. They didn't look like they were real. And so they wanted me to search for pictures where we were a mess, because the one that, where we're all together, we're all laid out there, that took a couple minutes of get together and a family shot, that just didn't look real. I want to tell you, it's real. It's my life. I've got a pretty good life. It all started by designing it on purpose. It wasn't by accident. And it certainly wasn't through lack of effort. My wife and I work really hard. We get focused in on making things happen, on our effort towards our children, our effort towards each other, our effort towards our businesses. It's effort. It doesn't just show up. And because of that, now, 15 years down the journey, 20 years down the journey, we've got a good life. When do you want to start? You're already in process. Congratulations, and keep on moving, because I got to tell you, the effort doesn't end, and yet the smiles just get bigger and bigger. Continue to enjoy life. Continue to design it. Continue to strive for the next big thing in your life. It's worth the journey, worth the focus, worth everything that you put into it, because it's great on the other side. I'm not going to spend a lot of time tonight because, well, I want to go spend more time with my children and with my wife and spend a little time this evening. I'm actually traveling for the rest of this week, so I want to spend some time with them tonight. And I'm off to California tomorrow, and which is second or third trip this month out to California, which is great, dealing with different groups out there and doing a ton of engagement with entrepreneurs all around the country, and just having a blast doing it. So it is the life I designed, and so now blocked out some time for them. So to all of you, continue in your journey, continue to design your life on purpose with intent. This is Paul Finck, the Maverick Millionaire. This is Maverick Mondays. Continue to comment below, and I'll see you real soon.